All right, diving in today, folks. Big question on the table. Could crypto really, fully replace banks as we know them?
Yeah, I mean, it's a question a lot of people are asking, right?
Absolutely. And your research materials here really get into it, looking at whether traditional banking is, going the way of the dodo, or if we'll see this future where crypto and banks kind of work together.
It's fascinating stuff, isn't it?
Totally. And our mission today is to kind of break it all down, the core arguments for and against crypto replacing banks, so you can walk away with a solid grasp of this whole evolving financial landscape.
Right, because it is changing so quickly.
It really is.
Yeah.
So, first off, why is this even a question? What are the fundamental problems with banks that make something like crypto seem, well, appealing?
Yeah, well, the materials you sent over point to a few key things. Like, first up, everyone hates those fees, right?
Oh, yeah.
All the little transaction charges, the interest on loans, it really adds up.
For sure.
Then there's the speed, or lack thereof.
Huh.
Especially with international payments, sometimes it takes days.
It's like, come on, this is the 21st century.
Right. And another issue is the whole centralized nature of banks.
Yep.
They're very much subject to government policies, influence, all that.
Okay. Yeah.
And a really crucial point that comes up is financial exclusion. We're talking about an estimated 1.4 billion adults worldwide without access to a bank.
Wow.
That's huge.
It is.
That's a massive number of people basically locked out of the traditional financial system.
So you can see why alternatives would start to look pretty good.
Right. And it's important to remember, the 2008 financial crisis really shook people's faith in banks. It exposed some serious vulnerabilities, and you could argue it kind of paved the way for Bitcoin, which came on the scene as this decentralized alternative, a way to move money outside those existing structures.
Interesting. So how exactly does crypto step in to try and solve these problems? What makes it such a potential game changer?
Well, the big one is decentralization. Most cryptocurrencies aren't controlled by any single entity. So theoretically, they're much less prone to things like censorship or manipulation.
Makes sense.
Plus, because you're cutting out the middleman, the bank, transaction fees can be way lower. In some cases, a tiny fraction of what banks charge, especially for international transfers.
That's got to be a huge draw for some people.
It is. And then the speed. We're talking near instantaneous payments across borders, which is a world away from how long traditional transfers can take.
Like night and day.
Plus, the fact that theoretically anyone with internet access can get involved, that opens up financial services to way more people, is potentially a huge leap forward for financial inclusion.
So crypto's got some serious advantages on the surface, but
Yeah.
it's not without its downsides, right? What are some of the big roadblocks to it actually replacing banks?
Yeah, so this is where the rubber hits the road. First, there's a lot of regulatory uncertainty. Governments around the world are still scrambling to figure out how to handle crypto.
That's understandable, I guess. It's all pretty new.
It is. And some countries have taken a hard line, like China, with its ban on Bitcoin mining. This kind of uncertainty makes it tough for businesses and individuals to fully commit to crypto.
Yeah, you need some clear rules of the game.
Exactly. Then, of course, there's the volatility, the price swings, sometimes massive drops that crypto's known for.
Makes it a bit hard to use for everyday purchases if you don't know what it'll be worth tomorrow.
Totally. Plus, you have security risks, hacks, scams, and then the whole thing with private keys. If you lose your private key, it's like losing the password to your crypto wallet. It's gone.
And for a lot of folks, just understanding how it all works is a big hurdle.
Yeah, there's definitely a user-friendliness issue that needs to be addressed before it can truly become mainstream. I mean, the whole idea of digital currencies is still pretty new to most people.
It can be a bit mind-bending for sure.
Right, it takes some getting used to. So even though crypto presents some really compelling solutions to the problems we see with traditional banking, there are still some big challenges to overcome. Regulation, stability, security, ease of use, all those things need to be addressed.
So it sounds like the idea of crypto completely replacing banks tomorrow is probably not realistic.
Probably not. But the materials you've gathered suggest that we might see some kind of integration or coexistence instead. Maybe traditional banking can provide the established regulatory framework and consumer protections, while crypto brings the innovation and accessibility to the table.
Sort of a best of both worlds scenario. Makes you wonder, as technology keeps developing, how can we really use both these systems, traditional finance and crypto, to create something that's not just more efficient, but actually includes everyone?
Yeah, it's a big question.
It is. A lot to think about there.